For early access plus exclusive content, facilitated discussions, live one-on-one Q&As, and more, become a patron at patreon.com/BrucePointset.
Uh, I embark on my tour in about a week and a half, so it's pretty soon.
And you're going to, as far as just like the different states, I know Oregon, California, but I know there's others. Where else are you going?
I'll be heading to New Mexico. I'm going to be in Socorro, Texas, which is right by El Paso, Texas. I'll also be a few different places in Colorado. And then on the way back from the tour, I'll also be in Caldwell, Idaho, which is close to the border of Oregon. And I'll also be in Tucson, Arizona.
Wow. Yeah, so that's me covering a lot of ground. Like,
I'm doing a big square basically around the Western states.
probably have like a whole, at least a book's worth of stuff to write just from that, I imagine.
That's a good idea. We'll see. I'll try to keep notes the whole time, and I mean, it'll be fun to be on the road when I'm on the road, and all the pieces have been organizationally planned. But right now, I'm still just in like, where am I going to stay this night, and just trying to figure out those pieces. So I look forward to the being on the road and hopefully being able to relax a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah. And like how I'm curious like how you chose the play locate I can say words. How you chose the locations for this tour. Like are these all places you've kind of like been before or scouted out or how'd that work?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I originally knew I wanted to go to California because that's where I grew up in the Bay Area, and sort of naturally was like, well, if I'm going to be in the Bay Area, I might as well go to LA. It's not super far. And I had put out, I think, a post on Twitter, a tweet. Um, I know social media lingo. And someone had mentioned that she was interested in connecting with me and trying to do a book tour together for part of it. And so her name is Katie Standifer, and she came out with a book called Lightning Flowers. So she was able to really help me with coordinating the stops in Tucson, which will be at Barrio Books, and then the stop in Albuquerque, New Mexico, which will be at Harvest Moon Books / Montage Coffee Shop. And then the other places, I really was looking at where are locations where there's a strong Latinx population, specifically because that's what a lot of my book is related to as far as identity goes. And then also, I know some writers in different places, so I was willing to drive out to their locations. In Denver, Colorado, I'm really excited because I'm doing an event with Kali Fajardo Anstein and Manuel Aragon, and I knew them from Kali. I've worked with her, learning from her through Tin House, and then also Manuel I've connected with on Twitter. So I thought it was a cool opportunity to actually go out and meet some of these folks who I've been connecting with sort of through the internet. And Caldwell, Idaho was funny because I was doing research on book clubs, trying to figure out, again, from like a promotional perspective, how to connect with readers and communities. And I found out that Caldwell, Idaho has a bookstore that has a Latinx book club where they meet once a month. It's a Latinx focused authors. And so I figured that would be a great spot, or hopefully I have a built-in audience there of people who might be interested in the book, even though it's not the book club night. And then maybe they'll pick my book for a book club down the road.
Yeah. Oh, again, that's it's exciting. It's also, I think, it's just very instructional for this moment of, trying to, again, like a subject I'm really interested in. This is like writers in this economy, like how we make things happen. Like you're just talking there about, how you plan out a tour and like, kind of like going back to like some of these breadcrumbs just from like other parts of your career and doing certain just like population research and all this stuff that goes into it beyond just like here's a story, here's who I interview, and we put it on paper. Like you have to be you have to have almost like all the tools at this point.
Totally. I think that's a good point too, because one of the things that I think about, when I'm doing interviews, for example, is like often there's questions of like, what are you surprised about or what did you not expect? And one of the things that I really was surprised by was just the amount that all of the things that I've been doing in my past up until now, I feel like in the last few years at least, are directly benefiting my ability to do a tour. I had no idea that when I was doing community organizing or events that those skills of just being able to put together logistics and, put together a run of show, that those would then benefit me when I became a debut author. I thought that, the publisher would be the one organizing these things. And I think that that happens for some people, but even folks who I know who are coming out with books right now, who even have like a really big social media following, they are still not being given the same access to a team who will support them with a book tour. And so I think, unfortunately, because it has been shifting to be the norm of the author to organize tours if they want to do them and events, it's really beneficial to have the ability to have that organizational, like administrative lens. It's gonna benefit you as a writer, even though I think a lot of times we think that writers are just people who write things, but it's like you have to be, um, you don't have to be, but it's helpful to have other skills that can serve you when you're trying to do a book tour.